Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Protege Effect. Another Friday night, something new to learn again. And tonight, Carl is going to show us how to level up our businesses. This is something that I think we all struggle with, even if we don't realize it, is undervaluing ourselves. And he's going to show us how we can add value. And yeah, we cannot wait to hear everything that you are going to be teaching us, Carlo.
G'day. All right. Okay, thank you everybody for being here and joining us tonight. And yeah, I'm gonna kick off where we left last year, which was last year, late November, if I remember correctly. And that time I spoke about the fundamentals of customer experience. These included packaging, listening to your clients, solving their problems, building relationships through conversations with your clients. So those principles have not changed, and I really hope that many of you have actually been implementing them. I would actually like to hear some feedback on that at a later stage. So tonight, slightly different topic. We're going to talk about the value of your business and how the value of your business is perceived by your clients, but more important, probably about yourself. The business fundamentals, they stay intact, as I said. But the business world, we all know it's changing every day as we go on. Customer expectations are rising, technology is advancing. Got AI, it feels like yesterday, and nobody knows where it's going. And to be honest, what impressed clients last year might just be expected this year. Sorry for that. So to keep current, we need to be confident in what we do, and we need to value our business as such. So tonight, I want to explore how we value our business and what we can do to improve it. New approaches and strategies that build on what we've applied in 2025 to take that customer experience just to the next level. These are not all proven. Some of these strategies will most probably fail, but it's the risk of innovation. And it's a risk I'm willing to take, and I hope you guys feel the same. So tonight I'm going to ask you to participate a little bit more actively than previous sessions. Two ways. Type in the chat. So if you're not sure where that is, in actual fact, I'm sure everybody of you know where the chat is. Have that ready. And just for one part, if you can, have a pen and paper ready. I'll tell you when we get there. So before we move forward, let's just do a quick, honest assessment. After our previous session, what we hoped would happen. Did it happen? You certainly must have had some expectations. If you apply the things you learn, something must happen. So when we talked about the golden notebook, packaging, improving that, solving problems, we really hope that these would become habits. So something you just do automatically, become how we do business. And eventually that needs to show in the revenue. Otherwise, why do it? The reality is that was the end of the year. Things probably went totally crazy. Systems just went out the window. Just get it done, get it now. Time is running out. And we're in a new year, and you probably forgot about it again. The good thing about that is that was not your only window. You do get another shot at it. But you have to remember it takes discipline to create habit. Now there's a nice saying that I read quite a while ago, and Luke Belmar, if you guys don't know him, follow him on Facebook. He is really a straight shooter, but what he says, it really resonates with business. And Jim said, we must all suffer from one of two pains. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So there is a difference. Discipline, yes, it weighs kilograms, while regret weighs tons. Choose wisely. So, knowing what to do and actually doing it consistently, two very different things. So, just out of curiosity, and I'm sure most of you are here today, were here in the previous one, and if you're like, let us know in the chat, if you actually started the client notebook. But I haven't really looked at it. Upgraded your packaging, made it nice once or twice. Again, it was the end of the year, everything, you just needed to get the orders out, and that lacked. You fall back into old habits, and it's difficult to remember that again and get that going. Or the importance we discussed of building a relationship with your client through conversation. Come end of the year, you don't have time to talk with a client. You just place your order, and if you come and collect your order, out you go, I need to get the next thing going. And you're missing the opportunity. And the reason I can say that is because I need to raise my hand as well. Same thing happens. It's extremely difficult, especially that time of the year, to make time for these things. Therefore, we have to have a mindset shift. So my mindset shift for 2026. I don't want to just add new strategies. I want to improve on the systems that make customer experience inevitable. The customer's experience should not be determined by how good a day I'm having. That is not going to work. So I want to share with you a quick story about how I think about my business. Does anybody here know or have heard about the Joshua Bell experiment? Except you, Liana. So let me share the story with you. In 2007, one of the world's greatest, and I cannot pronounce this word, violinists, Joshua Bell performed an experiment. They did this for the Washington Post. It's a news outlet in the United States. So this was done a few days after he sold out a concert hall in Boston. Sell out. Tickets were over $100. I think by today's terms, especially after today, the rand went over 16 rand again. So over 1,600 rand in today's value. Sold out, all tickets sold. He went to the Washington DC Metro subway station, train station, during the morning rush hour. Violin case on the floor, as they do, as anybody performing, a busker, and playing for tips. That's what they do. That's, if anybody believes he earns a tip. In the subway, he played his violin, which was to the value of $3.5 million at the time. That's probably about 55 million rand today. And if I pronounce it correctly, not that it has any relevance, but it was a Stradivarius violin. It's the same instrument, the same artist, the same music that commanded premium prices in concert halls. How do you think this experiment went down? How much money do you think the best violinist with one of the best instruments, who is top of his trade, how much money do you guys think he made? Take a wild guess and pop that in the chat for us. Just hit the number.
Logically, you'd think this is a world-class performer and he's obviously going to make loads of money performing for free.
Because he is a world-class performer.
He is, yes.
So while you think about that, I'll give you some more information. they took stats. There were other people involved, and 1,100 people roughly passed by.
Louise ventured a guess. She said she doesn't think he earned anything, and Meg said $20. And Tracy said she doesn't think anybody recognized him, so he didn't make much money.
So at least 7 people stopped and listened for more than a minute. Otherwise, other than that, you guys are pretty spot on. Most people didn't even glance at him. Thought it's just another guy playing a violin in the subway station. So they carry on with their day. So this might surprise Megs. I'm just looking sideways to your guest there. I can't see all of them. He collected $32 in his violin case. I don't even think it's worthwhile trying to do the math and say what it is in rand value. $32.
Meg's guess was the closest.
It was not even a third of one of the tickets that he sold out. And I'm going to say again, the same musician, the same skill, the same instrument, the same music. The only thing that was different context and completely different perceived value. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this. And this may possibly be the most important turning point in your business. Thinking about what he did, this pretty much shows us that mediocre work in a concert hall may still be mediocre, but masterful work in a subway can easily become invisible. So,
it's very true.
This is not something that I really like doing, but this might make you a little bit uncomfortable, but let's go through this quickly. Many of you have been at this trade for years, producing good work. But be honest with yourself. Are you still charging beginner prices? Are you still apologizing for your work and maybe the slightest imperfection? And when I say that, you find yourself apologizing when you give your work to a client. Are you undervaluing your experience? Thinking, I haven't been doing this long enough, I'm not good enough. Are you presenting yourself as just a hobbyist? I'm just doing it for extra money, justifying if you're not making the turnover per month that you would love to do. And lastly, thinking, I'm not good enough yet to charge more. I was there very long, and it is a place where one gets stuck. So here's something that I would like you to understand. You are not Joshua Bell playing in the subway because you lack skill. You're playing in the subway because you don't believe you belong in the concert hall. You've probably convinced yourself you're not an expert when you've actually been performing for years. So maybe now's the time to take a small step, move out of the subway to the next venue. At least start the journey towards the concert hall. So that's all good and well and easy to say. But is it possible? So everybody says chase your dreams, but they don't show you where to run. What are you chasing? So this is where I want you to keep a pen and paper ready and just have it with you. And I just want to go through 5 questions with you. I'll have them on the next slide. And let's answer these questions and see where that takes us. So can you design a file that cuts cleanly, fits nicely, everything works, first cut, everything is done? And I'm not saying every job, I'm saying majority of them. If you can do that, make a tick, make a right tick. Can you handle different materials? And can you do it confidently? We just had a look at what Anna-Marie did. And what she presented shows that she's very confident, or should be now, using that material. And MDF is your first material. You can't say it doesn't count. That's the first material that we all use confident. Many of us are very confident using Perspex, Perspex Mirror, Raumark. So be honest with yourself. Can you handle a few different materials confidently? The third point is, can you troubleshoot? And even with help, when something goes wrong, whether it's software, machine related, design software, are you able to troubleshoot it even with help if somebody helps you and they guide you and you get it sorted out? Can you deliver your products on time consistently? And the last one, which is probably the most important, do you have customers who come back? So if you want to, feel free to share this in the chat with us. But I don't want to put anybody under pressure to do that. But if you checked 3 or more of these, you're not a beginner. You are experienced. And
even if you don't think so.
Even if you don't think so. You've just proven it to yourself. If you've got those 3 tick marks, I guarantee you when you got your machine, when you started with this, you wouldn't have gotten any of them. So from 0 out of 5, you have moved up, certainly, probably to 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, some of you probably 5 out of 5. So you're not a beginner. And the only thing beginner about you is probably just your pricing. And more importantly, your perception about yourself. And you can only convince your clients that you belong in better venues if you can truly believe it yourself. So I'm sure most of you, again, I'm saying, if not all of you, you've just proven that to yourself. I'm very confident about that. So I just want to come back quickly to the last point that we discussed there. Do you have customers who come back? And any client who supported your business more than once, that is a recurring client. Even if it was the first time 4 years ago and you did something for them again this year, it's a recurring client. And if you think about a recurring client, is they chose you or your business based on your previous performance and their experience thereof, which means the customer experience wasn't bad for them, so you were doing something right. That means they already see the value that you are probably not seeing in yourself. And we all struggle to see our own worth. But a recurring client is showing you this by their actions, not their words. I mean, what is more trustworthy than that? People lie every day. It's very easy to lie with your words. It's with your actions. If they come back, I mean, that is a testament better than anything else. So that shows they're in the concert hall listening. You're no longer playing in the subway. So we need to move forward. How do you do that? Even if you're not in the concert hall yet, you need to work towards it. So from the subway, improving the venue step by step until you reach the concert hall. Striving to become part of the 1% club who make it in the concert hall, because not everybody makes it. But at first, and this is how I wrote this line when I was preparing this, I believe there's no quick fix or recipe. You just had to work hard at it. And honestly, that was what I was going to say, and I thought about it, but how do you work hard at it? What do you say? And then I actually realized there is a quick fix. There is a recipe. We are not the first to attempt this. There are many who went before us, succeeded, and are sharing their experiences. You just need to find the right recipe for you. Just remember that the recipe for a chocolate cake is totally different from the recipe for a cheesecake. So you just need to know what you're making. And if you decide on a chocolate cake, there are 100 recipes for that. Some will make sense, others won't. Some will resonate with you, others not. We just need to listen and apply. In fact, it has honestly never been easier because we have all this information. People are sharing this information. So the best time to start such a journey is always now. It might not feel quick, but trust me, it is one of the most efficient ways of getting there. Don't regret it 6 months down the line, hoping you started today. Think back, remember the pain of regret? Don't regret it. So how do we join this 1% club? Is there anything physically we can do? Join the 1% club and to get into that concert hall. So let's see if we can put this into practical implications, something you can start and you can actually do. And what can make a difference for you. Although this will probably vary for most of you, I think these 3 steps will certainly help. And I can say that because it helped a lot for me. The very first one is show up consistently. And the good news that I can share with you on this is you're already ahead by being here tonight. Initially I said probably only 5% of the people invited will be here. I think only about 1% of the people invited are here. So in that, thinking about that, you're probably in the 1% club already just on this. So you're ahead of your competition. But don't stop at showing up once. Make these sessions a habit, and I know many of you do, and we really appreciate that. But every session you learn something, and you have the opportunity to share something. Which brings me right to the second point. Help others. This is the one thing that is tried and tested, and yet for some reason it seems to remain a secret or untouched. It's honestly the best way to master your craft is to teach it to others. I cannot explain to you more how important this is. But let's dig deeper into this one a little bit. So let's take some time and see, again, actually, how do you implement helping others? So most of us here are in WhatsApp support groups. We all share a very common support group run by Gerrit. And when we see a question in the group, don't scroll by thinking, I'm not expert enough to answer this. Or, oh, cool, I've had that problem. Let's see what the experts say. So, how do you think these so-called experts got this title? Anyone care to venture a guess?
By helping others.
By helping others. So, my wife says, and she's here tonight, she says, I'm very opinionated. So, on that note, I'll share my opinion on this. So, when a question pops up in a group, do the following but have a system. Apply the system, approve it, most of all, use it. And I'm more than happy to share this with you afterwards, just get in contact with either of us. When you see a question pop up, try to understand the problem first. And make this the first thing that you need to know when you see the problem. Try to understand what the problem is, what the person is trying to fix, what they're trying to do. Ask a follow-up question before firing away with possible answers. This gives you more information about the issue, and you can gain credibility by actually showing interest in helping that person who is struggling. Rather that than trying to be the first one to answer. And then remember in the back of your mind, be willing to be wrong. And if you are, when you are, just own up to it. Keep learning. Now, I'm going to go back to the first point. Once you understand what the problem is, the next point is research it as best you can. Again, we live in a time where information is freely available. We just need to learn how to look for it and how to find it. Even if you are pretty sure you know the answer or the solution, verify it. Don't rush and repost the first Google or AI reply. You don't need to be the first one to come up with the solution. First, make sure you understand the answer you're about to give before posting it. Because if they ask you a question and you're not sure about what you posted, that doesn't look good. Don't bail out when a solution is found. Remember, you're doing this for yourself as much as for the person you're trying to help. If you don't understand the solution given, even if it's not you having the issue, ask. You're in the group, that's a conversation. Or keep doing research until you understand it. And the most important part, which you need to remember when you're doing this, is remember that the effort and the time that you put into this benefits you more long-term than the person seeking the solution. Don't let such an opportunity pass you by. It's honestly one of the best investments you can make in your own expertise. And yes, sometimes opportunities are sneaky. They come disguised as work. It's one of those things. So if we look at a quick example, if someone asks, why am I getting burn marks on my acrylic edges? So you've got options. Scroll past, because I don't cut acrylic. Or you can wait for expert to answer, learn a little by reading, probably forget it before the day is by. Or you can research it yourself, find a solution, share what you found, and it might start a conversation. And undoubtedly, we cannot argue about the value of the conversation. By applying option 3, while doing research, you probably learn a few other variables as well that can affect the cut quality. This knowledge stays with you for years. The last one is master the fundamentals. Fundamentals, that's my word for 2026. The best advice I can give you is to ensure that you understand the fundamentals. And in our trade, the basics are the software. Know the software of your machine. Know the design software. And it's not something you can learn in a day or in a month or in 6. But as you work, carry on learning. Don't just do something in a certain way because that's how you've done it from day one. Explore, learn. Learn from the prodigy effect. Your machine. Understand how it works and maintain it and how to set it up properly. And I'm not saying be so technically minded that you can take the whole machine apart and there's bokies and moertjies all over. Try to understand what the capabilities of your machine is, what you can do with it, what you can get out of it by using the controls which you have, which is the software. The third point is business basics. Understand the fundamentals of business, the basics of that. Please, I cannot emphasize this anymore. Marketing, accounting, and costing. They are all equally, if not more important than the first two that we just mentioned. If we think about the best sportsmen in the world, they never stop training. They're always aiming to become better. So why are we not practicing and learning more? Instead of just every day going, see what orders you got, cutting them, carrying on. We can keep on learning and practicing. That'll make us better at our trade and at business. Learning as you go, that's an option, but it's honestly not an efficient method to success. If we think about the Springboks, they did not become the number one ranked team in the world by just playing game after game after game. They developed a system. They broke it down into drills to practice, which when put together flows like a well-oiled machine. We've all seen it. A business needs the same approach. Systems, practice, not just playing the game. Sometimes to implement that, you need to take one step back to take 2 steps forward, but it is well worth it. So is there anybody here, after what I've said and spoke about, who still think, it sounds all good and well, but I still don't think I can do it? Is anybody, putting you guys on the spot again, is there anybody who wants to answer that? But yes, I'm not gonna push you on that, because I know the answer. And I can break the news to you. You're already doing it.
Because almal voel so 'n bietjie so.
You don't need to feel like that, because you're already doing it. Remember the first point we spoke about? Showing up consistently? You're here. Most of you are here for every or most of the sessions. You've already started. You're already ahead. So just imagine, if you implement one small fundamental improvement per week, it's not much. But it's the small, consistent actions we spoke about when we quoted Sam Demmer the previous session, if any of you can remember. And while I'm on his name, I'll emphasize again, if you guys are not following Sam Demmer on Facebook, really do it. He is such a treat, and it is great value. So if you implement a small fundamental improvement per week, you research the questions posted on the groups. Even if you think you know the answer or the cause, or you have no clue what they're talking about, these groups are like owning land rich with gold. You must just be willing to do the mining. And the mining is not that hard. On your computer, research, see what other people say. Honestly, it's all it takes. And then show up to the next Product JFX session and the next one. Consistent, showing up. And I want to put a challenge out to you guys on this one. Don't just show up. Maybe sometime even present one soon. Anybody can present one of these sessions. It is not just us. It is open for anybody. And I would really encourage you and invite you to do so. So when the time comes, feel free to contact us. So if you do these basics, these 3 we just spoke now, make a small fundamental improvement, research the questions, show up. If you do them consistently, in 6 months, you will not just improve. I guarantee, and I bet I'll put money on it, you'll be better than at least 80% of the laser cutting businesses who never joined a community like this or apply these basics. I will really put my head on a block. So that's your path to the concert hall. It will not happen overnight, but it is possible if you stay consistent. Joshua Bell started playing the violin, I think at age 4, if I'm not mistaken. He started selling out shows, I think only about 30 years later. So you might feel, I don't have that amount of time. But let me remind you, way before he started selling out shows, he was buying expensive violins. Probably for millions already. So what I'm saying is, business is just like life itself. It's a journey, not a destination. Why not enjoy the ride and buy a few violins along the way? So I'll close off with this. The question isn't whether you have the skill. I'm convinced most of you have answered this question tonight. The question is, will you step out of the subway into the next venue, pursuing the concert hall where you belong? And that is it from me for tonight. And in the next session, we will talk about how to manage your pricing once you get out of the subway. And I hope you look forward to that. Thank you so much. Let me just...
Sjoe, dankie Carlo, dit was
Amazing.
amazing. Ja, dit was amazing.
In 'n mond vol.
Ja. Voel of
Die
ek
beste
nou in die skool,
advies.
dit voel of ek nou in die skool op sy kantoor gesit het en 'n hengse lesing agter die rug het.
Dis reg, dan beteken dit jy het geluister.
Oor die vingers getik. Ja. Yeah, it's so important to get out of the subway, and especially out of our comfort zones, né?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I'm finishing, I'll have a quick run through the chat, but I see I'm not going to do that now. There's quite a bit there. I will work through that when we're done. I'll see that when we're offline. But thank you so much for participating. I do want to ask, and if you guys are willing to do that, how many, when I asked the questions, the 5 questions, how many of you got 3 or more ticks?
We got lots of 5s. I asked that in the chat, and we got lots of 5s, and a 4.5 from Raven.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, so 4.5 there, but everybody else that answered was a 5.
That is extremely good news, but because that means nobody has an excuse to play in the subway.
Speaking of playing in the subway, let's go play the Lucky Wheel.
Dis ons gaan nie in die subway wees nie want julle is goeie teachers julle almal.
Baie dankie.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Billy is sponsoring the prize tonight, am I right?
He also said it is a mystery prize.
Yes, I just wanted to say that. So he's sponsoring the prize, and it's a mystery prize. And now he's not even here to reveal the mystery. So let's see who wins. We don't know what you're going to win, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. So and let's go. Okay, I think that was done. Congratulations, Megs.
I say.
We will put you in contact with Billy, and then, yeah, he must he must tell us what your prize is. But congratulations.
If anybody wants any of the information that we spoke about tonight, just drop us a WhatsApp, and we will gladly share that with all of you. I would really love to hear anybody who managed to apply what we spoke about in November and have seen a difference. But
the name of the guy you said we have to follow on Facebook, Sam who?
Sam Demo. He's a brilliant speaker. He's young and energetic and so amazing to listen to. Ek kan nie genoeg praat oor hom nie. He wrote a book called Empty Your Backpack. If you have the time, find the book and read it. That's really, really awesome. And for somebody so young to have achieved what he has in the manner that he has, in the humble way that he has. A lot of these guys, Dan Martel and those guys, they are not humble at all. They say it as it is, and it's the hard truth and the facts, and they almost come across aggressive. And if you listen to Sam Dema, he is such a pleasant person and so humble, and you can learn such a lot from him. So yes, follow him. I'm just trying to see if I can find. And if you do have the guts, follow Luke Belmar, but he's straight arrow, hard facts, and he has no sympathy for anybody who does not want to listen or follow it. You can learn a lot from him as well, but he might offend you, but he's not wrong. Well, he's hardly ever wrong. But yeah, he says it as it is. Interesting people and nice people to follow.
Ek wil vir julle nog sê, my engel wat my gister gehelp het ek gesien is vanaand het ons vanaand kom join.
Arina,
Ja.
dat sy. Annemarie, ons het jou in die rede geval. Share gou met ons wat jy wou share asseblief.
Ja, my internetkonneksie is baie sleg, so ek gaan vinnig praat. Daar's twee goeders wat Carlo laas gesê het wat ek begin doen het. Die een was om die verpakking beter te doen en die kliënte het nogal hulle oë raak so groot. Hulle sê niks nie, maar jy kan sien hulle is impressed met wat gedoen word. En die ander ding is om hulle te bel so 'n dag of wat nadat hulle hulle produkte gekry het en op te volg en dit speel nogal 'n rol by 'n kliënt om te follow up.
Dit doen.
Dis baie belangrik daai.
Ja, ek sny altyd 'n klein sleutelhouertjie en dan gee ek dit saam met my kliënte uit en aan die een kant sê ek dankie, aan die ander kant my besonderhede, so hulle kom nogal terug.
Dis daai
dis
klein
ook
goedjies. Yeah, it's the small things you do that you get recurring clients, and recurring clients is the most valuable thing you can have. You don't need to spend a minute or a cent on marketing. You just do your job and you do it exceptionally and they come back. So
Ja, ek vind daar's soveel stukkies offcuts van die MDF wat agterbly wat jy vir dit kan gebruik. So why not?
yeah, I think we can call it a night and go and enjoy a glass of wine. En die van julle wat wil gaan
Sy.
chocolate koek eet.
A well-deserved one,
Ja.
ja.